Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here. Let's talk about our severe weather risk for the weekend. We're going to get a little better look at this setup as we get closer to the weekend. We're still only on Thursday, so I want to focus on tomorrow because tomorrow, Friday, this is when things ramp up. So what you're looking at right now on the map, this is the Friday severe weather outlook. You could see we've got a low, medium, high, and even in kind of a high here in the middle of the country, meaning we could have significant severe weather across St. Louis and parts of Illinois, even into the western parts of Kentucky and Tennessee. That's the probability of severe weather overall. If we look at the tornado risk, we've got a 2%, 5%, and 10% probability there. So a 10% probability is pretty significant, but when you look at the wind probabilities, you're looking at significantly higher. Wind is definitely a big part of this system. So everywhere we look, even though we could have tornado outbreaks with the next 2 days with this system, I really think the wind threat is going to end up being the biggest issue we're going to see. So a lot of damaging winds. We go into Saturday, you can see the risk starts to shift into our region. So kind of shifts south as a secondary disturbance moves in. And look at the low, medium, high, and then the enhanced area down here over parts of Tennessee, down into Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. So this area right in here in particular, this is where we probably have more of a significant tornado threat, because we're going to have more warm, humid air coming in from the Gulf here, and that's going to set up the stage for likely some severe weather with this setup. So I would just be prepared right now for some severe weather across the deep south and then into the Carolinas. A lot of this is because of what's coming in overnight. So this line of storms will be moving in after midnight. I've been getting a lot of questions about the Charlotte FC game. Not concerned about it right now for severe weather, even rain, though I couldn't rule out a stray shower. This is all coming in mostly after midnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning. And then we transition to Sunday, and you can see most of our areas still in that low risk right now. That's because it's still 4 days out technically from this outlook. Today is day 1, 2, 3, 4. So Sunday's day 4. The probabilities are still about 15%, and it's in the low range just because there's still some uncertainty. But we're going to have a big line of storms moving across the south. And we'll show you one of my favorite graphics showing you this probability of severe weather. You could see as we go into tomorrow, you see that big risk shaping up there. I'm going to move down just a little bit so we can see it. So this is Friday right here. I'm going to use my cursor. This is Friday's outlook. This is Saturday's outlook. And then this is Sunday's outlook. And if you see, we've got a lot of pink in the Carolinas. And right now, that's in the 30 to 45% range for severe weather. So that'll give you a pretty good indication that, yeah, we're going to see severe weather. Getting a little bit better confidence on the timing of all this. I'm going to back this up and kind of show you. We're going to go through today. You can see the time right by my head here. You can see a scattered shower possible Friday, Saturday, but they're going to be pretty isolated. We're not looking at anything Saturday really other than some upslope rain there. We'll get into Saturday afternoon and night. You see some showers in the mountains to the west. So we'll get into, this is, about 10, 11 o'clock Saturday night. Charlotte FC game looks fine, rain in the mountains, but we're going to get closer to about 2 o'clock in the morning here. So this is 2 a.m. Sunday. You could still see the storms are to our west. So again, this is primarily a Sunday event for the Carolinas. We get closer to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then we get to about 8 a.m. here, and this is where we start to see the signals of a line of storms entering from the west. So looks like a pretty decent line of storms here. Again, don't get caught up in the look of this on the radar. Just look at the timing right now. There's still some uncertainty. And then that line pushes east through the mid-morning hours. So by 10 a.m., crossing over the Piedmont, and then we get into the afternoon by 2 p.m., starting to shift east. So you get kind of the idea. This is going to be a Sunday morning setup. So I'm going to stop this early Sunday morning, and we're going to look at some of the severe weather parameters, something we call CAPE. This is that thunderstorm fuel. Not a ton of it there until we get into Sunday afternoon. So Sunday afternoon will be interesting to watch, because I do think central and eastern North Carolina has a higher risk than the western part of the state, because this line is going to be pushing east as the day goes on. Now, one thing I will say, the wind potential with this is pretty significant. I'm going to show you the wind swaths. And so this is all the way through 2 o'clock on Sunday. So, there's going to be some winds with this. Right now, my biggest uncertainty is in the tornado risk. It's not certainly zero, but it's not sky high either. It's probably in that 2 to 5% range for the probability of tornadoes, which is, still elevated. That's much higher than a normal day. But to me right now, the wind issue is the biggest concern we have. There is just a ton of wind energy coming in with this system. And just to reiterate that, look how strong this low pressure system is in the middle of the country. This is basically Friday afternoon. This is a monster low pressure system, deep low pressure system. So it is going to generate a lot of wind energy. The jet stream is going to be punching in like this. We're going to have diffluent flow over the southeast, and this is going to produce a lot of lift and a lot of wind shear. So all the ingredients you need for severe weather here in the southeast. So get prepared. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow things start cranking up. They really ramp up Saturday, and our main event is Sunday. So make sure you have 3 ways to get warnings and you stay weather aware.